Welcoming Mike Santiago here to the program. RFA 39, June 17th. Hammond Civic Center in Hammond, Indiana, also known as Little Chicago. That's just outside Chicago. Luis Saldana is his opponent. You're kind of been on a little bit of a run lately. Right now, your record's at 17-9, but was it the last 7 fights in a row you won?
Yeah, 7 in a row. Mm-hmm.
Went on a really horrible 3-fight skid back in 2014. End of 2013 and beginning of 2014. It was not, you were not doing well at all.
No,
Decision, a complete beating by Nova in June of 2013, and then in August of 2013, you got guillotine choked in 31 seconds. Like at that point, I mean, we're talking 10 fights ago. You probably don't remember.
Yeah.
Were you seriously thinking about this might not be for me? I might need to get the fuck out of this thing, because it was like a beating and then a quick submission, and then you hit Frankie Perez and get another submission inside of 2 minutes. Like, were you really doubting your skill level at that point?
Not so much. I was doubting my skill level. I was doubting, thinking, what the hell am I doing? What do I have to do to change this? This cannot keep happening to me.
Okay.
Because all of my losses are by submission.
Yeah.
I had a couple early losses by submission in my career, and then a couple other late losses. So I had to tweak my game a little bit. I took some time for myself. I had to find myself as not only a growing young man, but as a mixed martial artist too.
Were you? Did it make you angry? You're like, damn it, this just keeps happening. Were you getting pissed at yourself for this, or was it like one of those things you're like, I really got to figure out? You're really trying to do some self-analysis. Like, what am I doing wrong that this is happening? Like, how was your mental process at that time?
It was a little bit of both. I was absolutely. I couldn't have been pissed off at my team or my training partners. I was mad at myself, not putting all the time in, because I know from an early age, right out of high school, that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to fight. I had to do this, and then after that, I had to change something. I had to find, a good ground school to tweak my game up.
And where did you go? What's the ground school?
Right now it's Alliance in Chicago, under Jason Collins.
And that's where who trains there? I know someone trains there. It's Ricardo Lamas. Is that who trains there? Yeah, Ricardo. I'm like, I just interviewed him before his last fight, and I was like, I noticed somebody that trains there. Like, who am I talking to? Yeah, so Ricardo.
Yeah, he helps me a lot, man. I started with Rick at a young age as well. So it's always good to have someone of his caliber, top 5 in the world, especially in my weight class, to look up to train under.
He just fought Max Holloway. Is he back? Is he back in the gym already?
No, you know what? That was a tough one for him, but I don't know when he'll be back in the gym, because he actually just got out of the hospital.
That's right.
Yeah, he split open his shin pretty bad.
Yeah.
He got stitched up in the back, by one of the doctors, and I guess when he landed back here in Chicago, his leg, I guess what I heard was double the size from his shin all the way up to the hip.
I saw some posts. Now that I'm talking about it, I remember I saw some posts. He's like, yeah, still in the hospital. I'm still in the hospital. That happens a lot when guys would fly back from fighting in Pride over in Japan. They take a bunch of leg kicks and they get on a plane the next day and fly back. They'd land back and their legs would be blown up from the blood clots. We're blocking the veins, and it's dangerous. Like, you have to go in and get your muscle. These guys would have to go get their thighs cut wide open, split open, that get dug out. It was crazy. Oof. Bad stuff. I'm glad. Is he, as far as you know, he's doing okay, right?
Oh yeah. He's doing all right. Yeah.
All right. I should hit him up here a little bit and double check in with him.
Definitely.
That fight with Max Holloway for me was really tough, because I like both guys. And I trained with Max here in Hawaii. So it was like, I like both guys as men outside, but then I like how they fight inside as well. So it was tough for me to pick which way that was going to go. It was a great fight. Just unfortunately, Ricardo just didn't have it that night, and Max ended up winning. The reason why I was asking if he's back in the gym, because what is it like when you have someone that you've been with since you were a teenager, that you've been training with for that long, and all of a sudden now that guy shows up after a big loss in top 5 in the world, and all of a sudden it's like a really big, hard loss. What's it like now in the gym dealing with and having him around, and what's the mental attitude to get you ready for your fight?
I try not to, some people have just off nights, and that's what he told me it was. He was like, it just wasn't my night, He's like, I'm mad at myself more than anything. He's like, I could have blown through that guy, and we knew that too, but it's part of the game, One guy's gonna win, one guy's gonna lose, and whoever shows up that night is gonna be the victor. So
yeah. and it's tough. Like that's a tough situation to be in.
It is.
And so you've got the right team now. You've got all
That's
that squared away after those 3 losses. Now you're doing. I think it's 7 in a row, right? You won 7 in a row
yes.
now. Like you're on a bit of a tear. Like you are definitely you got your shit together.
Right. Absolutely.
Perception wise, it seems like you've gotten your shit together. But it's MMA. Unfortunately, sometimes there's banana peels on the canvas and people slip and fall down. That's just what happens. Like there's this,
and that's exactly what happened. In those earlier fights too.
So what's it like now mentally wise? Like you said, you got mad and changed things up. Physically, obviously you're awesome because you're winning. Physically,
right.
You're obviously coming in there. You're making weight. You're recovering from making weight. You're able to do everything you're supposed to do. Obviously, your strength and conditioning is up to par because you're strong enough to win all these fights. But how is your mental ability right now?
Like I said, I couldn't blame. The only person I could blame was myself for not putting that time in the aspects that I needed to. Our gym is a stand up and Muay Thai base, so I had to go out. My trainer helped me find this other school that was close to us that kind of fit more of my style. My wrestler, my grindy style. To help that out. But yeah, man, I just had to make those changes, and I had to believe in myself because I know I work hard. I think my first professional fight was just before I turned 20, and I'm about to be 20. Yeah, I'm about to be 27, and I got not only MMA fights. I fought professional boxing. I fought professional Muay Thai. So I like to mix it up a little bit. But as long as I believe in myself and all the hard work that I've been putting in, and my team, they've always had my back since day one, and they've helped me a lot, really overcome everything.
So Ricardo goes down and travels down to Florida to finish up his training camps and goes down and works. Have you ever thought about going to a different gym? Like, not necessarily going to the same place Ricardo goes, because you may not necessarily want to go to the same spot that somebody else goes to. You want to get different looks and different feel. You ever thought like going down to ATT or Black Zillions or going out to Extreme Couture in Las Vegas or something like that?
Yeah, I've been to I went actually to Colorado. I fought Davidius Torevicius.
Yep.
Yeah, he's an old school vet, and I went out to Colorado for I think it was like 40 days before that fight, and that was great, man. It's a little gym just like Top Notch is, but they got killers in that gym, man.
What gym was it?
It was right now. It's called Pariah MMA.
Okay, yep, I know it.
Under Drew Lawrence.
Yep.
Yeah, they've had a bunch of guys fight for RFA. One of them was Cameron Dollar. He was in the UFC for a while.
Yeah.
Ricky Musgrave. He just fought for a title shot. I think a couple shows back on RFA, same weight class as me. So I always went by myself. I had no idea what I was getting myself into going into the elevation. I didn't even know these guys. My trainer, Mac Ramos, he was like, hey, I know this guy. He's got a great gym, bunch of killers out there. He's like, I want you to go out there by yourself. I want you to kind of – and that was one of the turning points in my professional career, like being out there by myself, not knowing anybody, really having to come into my own.
Yeah. It also helps you grow as a man, too. It helps you grow into an adult where you're like, I really got to – this is what I want to do as a profession. I have to treat like an adult, and this is what I got to do, and I got to figure out how to make this thing happen. Of course, now Dwayne Ludwig is in Colorado. Grudge Training Center is in Colorado. There's a ton of places around the Denver area. That's another great place. Elevation, of course, you can always talk about Elevation down in New Mexico. You go over to Albuquerque and train at Greg Jackson's. There's a ton of opportunities for you to travel, and go to other places and spend time out there. Is that something you're going to start doing in the future? We're going to start spending more time at different camps for your part of your training camp?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always up to get new looks, to get different, not so much to change my style, but to get different bodies. It's always good to have different bodies, and that's one thing that's really helped my ground game. It's always good to roll with the guys in the gym, but then you start to learn their habits. They know your habits, So it's kind of like two rams going at each other. So me going to a different gym for wrestling and jiu-jitsu, that has really changed my game up a lot. It's really helped me.
From watching some of your previous fights and seeing your style, just my unsolicited personal opinion, you'd be great down at Black Zillions. They've got the kind of wrestling, kind of grinding style that you need in the court. But I'm biased because the head grappling coach down there, Neil Melanson, is also my coach that I have my black belt underneath. So I'm a little biased with that. So take that information as you know. But also too, ATT with Laborio is not a bad spot either. It just depends. It all really is about where do you fit and how do you fit in. You know, and
Exactly.
it's like all of a sudden you meet Dwayne Ludwig, you'd be like, I like that guy. I'm going to Colorado. I want to go hang out with Dwayne. That's just how it is. Like you meet somebody, you get comfortable with them, and then you want to learn from them. That's just how it goes.
You're absolutely right about that.
So let's talk about this training camp. Everything's been going good. Obviously, mentally you're strong, physically you're strong. What did you have to tweak to get ready for this fight? Every fighter has to tweak something during the next training camp because this fighter is a different fighter than the last guy. So it's a different look. So what do you think? What have you done differently?
I really kept the training aspect. I really kept the same, but just some of the stand-up aspect of the game, because that's what his style is. He's got more of like a fancy footworky style of Luis Saldana, from what I've seen. Now, I haven't seen too much of his tape, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes worth of tape, but I see patterns that he does, and that's one thing that we really try to capitalize on. How he reacts to certain things, how he moves, how he's moving his feet, and he likes to try to do like a Dominic Cruz type of footwork.
Oh, okay.
But we noticed that he stays on the outside a little much. He really doesn't engage too much. So for me, being not only a stand-up guy but a wrestler at the same time, I'm good at closing that distance. You know, I got good fakes. You know, so we've been working more of how to close that distance on a guy who moves his feet how he does and moves his body how he does.
I like it. Mike, so much for coming on here, man. I really appreciate it. Sorry I was a couple minutes late. I actually just got done working out and had to get back to the house. So thanks so much, man. Have fun. Good luck. The co-main event for RFA 39, Mike Santiago versus Luis Saldana. Before I let you out of here, is there anything else you want to tell any of your fans?
Hello?
Sorry about that. Yeah, you got
sorry.
Pause for a second. Is there anything else that you want to say to any of your fans, or anything you want to say directly to Saldana?
I really don't. I just like to let my work and my fighting do the talking for me, you know.
Yeah.
And thanks to my team's Top Notch and Jason Sullins at Team Alliance Jiu-Jitsu. You know, everything's gonna go our way that now. I can say that.
All right, Mike. Thanks so much, brother. Take care. We'll talk later.
All right, thanks, Frank. I appreciate it.